is they take our lives, they take our livelihoods, and they take our way of life. And it takes a while to recover from those shocks. My name is Nicholas Christakis. I'm a physician and social scientist at Yale, and I'm the author of Apollo Zero, the profound and enduring impact of coronavirus on the way we live. One can think about the COVID-19 pandemic in terms of three phases. The immediate period, which will last until the end of 2021 approximately. The intermediate period, which then goes to the end of 2023. And the post-pandemic period, which begins in 2024, approximately. During the immediate period, we are experiencing the biological and epidemiological shock of the virus. The virus spreads and spreads and spreads until enough people are infected that we reach naturally something known as the herd immunity threshold. And this is the time of the immediate pandemic period in which we would have to live in a changed world, wearing masks, engaging in physical distancing, having periodic business and school closures, and so on. During times of plague, it's very typical for people to become more religious. People stay at home. People become more abstemious. It will take about a year till the end of 2021 before we finally reach this important milestone of herd immunity, either naturally because the virus kept spreading or artificially through vaccination. During the intermediate period, we would have to now recover not from the biological or epidemiological impact of the virus. We would have to recover from the psychological, social, and economic impact of the virus. For every person who dies of the pandemic, perhaps 5 people will be seriously disabled. Millions of people will need ongoing medical care even after the immediate mortality impact of the pandemic is behind us. The pandemic has accelerated quite a number of trends in how healthcare is delivered and reversed some other trends. Having seen the importance of science in confronting this worldwide threat, we may see the importance of science in other things, like in confronting climate change. It's possible that one of the long-term legacies of the pandemic will be a renewed appreciation of and interest in and support of scientific endeavors. So if you put all of this together, we get to the end of 2023, and then we will enter the post-pandemic period. I think that period might be a little bit like the roaring 20s of the 20th century after the 1918 Spanish influenza pandemic. All of the hardships and struggles and changes in our lives that we had to endure and adopt during these initial years will then suddenly be reversed. People no longer are as religious. People relentlessly seek out social opportunities in nightclubs and bars and restaurants and sporting events and political rallies and musical performances and so on. We might see some sexual licentiousness too. There may be some things that never revert, like handshaking, for example, in Western societies, or certain kinds of superfluous business travel where now people can see that they can do it remotely, or certain ways of delivering medical care where people previously would go in to see the doctor physically, but now see that they don't need to do that to everyone's benefit. Or patterns of working from home, for example, when people see that they don't need to commute in order to earn a living. You can ask, like, what gives you hope? And I'm very tempted to invoke a joke that doctors often offer, which is sort of cynical and pessimistic in this situation, which is that all bleeding stops eventually. So plagues always end, but they often end after taking many lives. They come in waves, and eventually they damp down and peter out. So I'm very hopeful and optimistic that we will see the other side of this. So serious as SARS-CoV-2 is, its ultimate fate is likely that it will become something known as endemic. It'll become like one of the common cold viruses circulating among us and ultimately causing probably...
All right, Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushua, Ba'Hashem, Krakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and the few sisters is out there, onto the Israelite foreigners. We're going to see the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. This is a quick show through the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushua. There's a video that I saw on CNN. I don't want to take down the video because, you know, these people, they're going after everything. But out of the devil's own mouth, out of his own mouth, talking about things gonna go back to normal in 2024. So from 3 years from now, according to this man's logics, everything's gonna go back to normal. And they have show you that this thing that they was playing, they was playing a long game, while everybody else is out here thinking that they was playing a short game, as far as just a quick thing. And even got the nerve to say at the end of the video that this thing is gonna become like a new common cold. They had no attention of curing anything if they could. All right, this man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, and their whole true goal is to ultimately end up on cutting down the world's population. So they believe in their heart that give them more than enough time to get rid of a lot of undesirables as they're going. I believe my brother in the world, he told me the other day, what was it, last night he told me, he said that I hear they open in New York, they open massive vaccine stations and use Yankee Stadium, which we already knew that was gonna happen, because you watch their films and all these stadiums, all these schools that's closed and all that, they're gonna use all those things to max use to impel people with this vaccine. And it's start with the vaccine and get people used to it. Then they're gonna introduce that chip, because people is gonna fake a whole lot of when it gets bad, they're gonna start faking. Supposedly they're gonna start faking that vaccine pass that they have at the paper. All right, and if you have it in your phone, well, somebody else could take your phone. So everything's plotted out just right, man. Just right how this man has intended. Matter of fact, let me just get to this point. Job 13:4. It says, "But ye are forgers of lies," and that's why America. I mean, not America. That's why they have the plan to take this thing so long. All right. Their plan is to allow this to happen for the long run. Things not to go back to normal. Period. That's the whole point. Then everything's not gonna go back to normal. Period, because they're built upon a lie. Okay. They just completely built on a lie. This guy's a master of lying. The master disaster is by deception. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. I'm Revelations. I use the one in 20, and I believe it's Revelations 20:8. It says, "And shall go to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth." And that's Esau's MO, is by lies, man. Everything that he does is by lies. So he's a master of building up the lie. And that's what we've seen. We've seen a plan that was dished out in their basement, so to speak. And then that plan, matter of fact, the end result is a never ending getting out of this. There's no ending out of this situation. It says Isaiah 29:15, "Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord." And that's what these people have been doing. They're seeking deep. They hide this counsel. And in that counsel, they plotted to make this thing last forever. This is how they're gonna achieve, according to their nonsense, how they're gonna achieve their golden crown, man. All right, things are not going back. Things are never going back to normal. They could give you a forecast, because according to what they were saying, the light at the end of the tunnel was supposed to be what, when the vaccine came out, and within 9 months, right? Operation Warp Speed. But yet, more things are worse out than it was before. So it's a never-ending cycle, man. It says, "And their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us?" So that's Esau's MO. He did his dirt in the dark, and then now we seen in full force blast what his true intentions are. You only can ride a gravy train for so long, Jake. It's just a matter of time before he pulled the plug. You know, you got a lot of people that's out there not paying their certain bills and not paying their rent and so forth. It's gonna come all at once. All right, all at once, because this man plotted this thing out perfectly to a T. Even though he has flaws in his perfection, because he has no perfection. That's why there's so much holes in this man's story. But it says Job, back in Job 13 and 4, it says, "But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value." So they give you a shot, a jab, and insert a DNA or RNA changing event so that your body they could do whatever they want to do, and yet your body still won't be able to fight off this horrible, unseeable enemy, like they said. Why? Because they just trying to make a profit off of your misery, and their intention is not to heal anyone. It's their intention is to kill, to destroy. So this is all part of this man's masterful plan that he had a long time ago, and we've seen it play out, and the end results is him not achieving his goal, because the end of it all is the Lord is going to destroy him. Job 8 and 4 says, "He teareth himself in his anger, shall the earth be forsaken for thee?" And that tearing himself up is within his own household. That's why you have Republicans versus Democrats, conservatives and far left and all this other nonsense. There's a great big split in Esau's kingdom. All right? And that ultimate split is going to be, which I should have finished read in Job 20 and 8, is going to lead them to that great battle with Gog and Magog, which is that great war of Armageddon. All right? Because they're all trying to achieve the same end goal, and they all trying to rule the world to come. Meaning you're gonna speak Russian or English. All right, but the Chinese want to be the next rulers. So this is what's all happening. It says, "Shall the earth be forsaken for thee?" Because why? Thermonuclear missiles is going to be bombarded throughout the whole four corners of the earth. "Shall the rock be removed out of this place? Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine." And that's talking about the illuminated ones, the Illuminati. Because the Lord, like it says, matter of fact, let me just read this real quick. I'm ending off on this. Isaiah 24 and 20, I believe. No, I'm sorry, it's 21. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth." So the Lord is about to punish them for their wicked rule. All right? The Lord is Yahweh B'Hashem Yahshua is about to punish and destroy these damn devils, man, for all they plotting. Because like the scripture says, "He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it." All right? And that pit is talking about him trying to destroy the masses of the people, depopulation. This is why Esau is slated to be destroyed. People, you Bible thumpers, always wonder why God hate Esau. Why he wants to wipe them out. Well, you living proof and seeing it with your own eyes. Because there is no end to this man's madness unless the Lord intervene, which he is. Matter of fact, I'm ending off on that. Matthew 24 and 16 or 14. I'm sorry, it's 24 and 22. "Except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved." And this is why time is speeding up the way it is. This is why things are going the way it's going. Because the Lord is shortening up the days. This man has a plan for 2030. All right? 2021 agenda is taking place as we speaking. And they completely changing it. And then with 2030 agenda, it's pretty much a wipe down everybody out and give your job to robots. So if the Lord don't come now, if the Lord don't speed this thing up, none of us are going to be saved. All right? So no flesh shall be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. And this is exactly why time is going the way it's going because the Lord is speeding things up for the elect of the nation of Israel. All right. So Barakateh Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. We almost out of here. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.